Hello and welcome to the channel. These are my favorite types of videos to upload, so I'm really excited that I have something to talk about that's pretty important. Cyberpunk has been pulled from the PSN store on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It remains on the Xbox store. However, both companies are offering full refunds despite which you read online. There's a lot of confusion. I can prove it to you. I'm going to have a link down below. An official PlayStation.com website that talks about Cyberpunk 2077 refunds. SIE strives to ensure a high level of customer satisfaction. Therefore, we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via the PlayStation Store. SIE will also be removing Cyberpunk from the PlayStation Store until further notice. Once we've confirmed that you purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via the PlayStation Store, we will begin processing your refund. Please note that completion of the refund may be based on your payment method and financial institution. So just sign in and submit your request. It's like specifically for the game. Like, and then Xbox is the same thing. Right here, right from support.xbox.com, so you don't think I'm making it up. Cyberpunk 2077 refund policy. We are offering full refunds for Cyberpunk 2077 digital purchases from the Microsoft Store until further notice. And again, they're not removing the game from the store, though, for Xbox because they were basically saying, you know what, we know that they've put their heart and soul into this game. And during the pandemic, it was really difficult for them to put this piece together. But, the 7 years they had prior to that, that's, we won't talk about that. Now, I've already made a rant on what I feel about that. I don't need to get back into it again. The main point of this video was, first of all, I had to format my computer. I was extremely scared that it was starting to fail on me. There was a lot of crackling noises. It took me nearly 12 hours to back up my computer and restore everything. So this is actually, that was my PS5. So this is actually my first upload to YouTube with my near 7-year-old computer that hadn't been formatted in over half a decade. So enough about me. A little bit more about that. So I got to the point pretty quick. Refunds from both companies. Boom, right there. And the game still remains on the store. And, like Steam, obviously you can get refunds there. That goes for anything. Steam is ahead of the curve. So I am going to read this a little bit. It's probably going to be repeating a couple of things that I said. But like I said, I was having a lot of anxiety today. I was actually so stressed out, I was getting chest pains. And because of the whole thing with my computer, I just spent like near $800 Canadian on my PS5, which has been an incredible thing. I really haven't had much of a chance to actually enjoy it in the 2 or 3 days I've had it because there's just been so much going on. I've had to YouTube, do patch notes. I like live streaming and all that. Anyhow, I'm rambling. Let's get to this. There's going to be a link down below to this website as well. Sony's pulled Cyberpunk, one of the year's most anticipated games, from its store and offered refunds to all players. The unprecedented move follows complaints that the game has been riddled with bugs and glitches and is prone to crashes. Microsoft later said it would also refund any dissatisfied Xbox players. Developer CD Projekt Red has promised to issue patches to improve the game for those who don't return it. It's unclear when Sony Interactive plans to return the game to the PlayStation Store. SIE strives to ensure, yeah, I've already read that. Then a Microsoft spokesperson said to Xbox players that they would get refunds, but it's not pulling the game from sale, right? See, that's the piece I was talking about. Xbox said, and I quote, "We know the developers at CD Projekt Red have worked hard to ship Cyberpunk in an extremely challenging circumstance," a spokesperson said. However, we also equally realize that some players have been unhappy with the current experience on older consoles, especially. To rectify the situation, it said it was issuing refunds to customers who've already requested one and would be expanding refunds to anyone who purchases Cyberpunk 2077 digitally from the Microsoft Store until further notice, and then to request one. I've already provided the link in the description box. Some Sony users, though, report being unable to request a refund even after the announcement, something Sony said it was working to get up and running as soon as possible. It can still be bought on PCs, and gamers who do not want to be reimbursed for their copies can still play the game and receive updates. And on older consoles, in Cyberpunk, players live in a criminal world where they can pay to upgrade their bodies with technology. The action role-playing game was originally announced way back in 2012, but then re-announced in 2018, and then showcased with huge fanfare and an appearance by Keanu Reeves. If only that's what he actually looked like in the game, because he looks a little bit different. The game has actually been reviewed well, despite the critics. It's praising its gameplay and visuals, despite the bugs, which are common in large open world games and often patch after launch day. But on release, it became clear that versions of the game for the older consoles, like the base PS4, the base Xbox One, ran piss poor, hitching visual quality drops, massive slowdowns that many players said made the game literally unplayable. So those with the newest versions of consoles or a high-end gaming PC have not experienced the same level of issues. However, I'm still experiencing issues, but it's playable, but it's still unforgivable. But I've already ranted about that. And then again, CD Projekt Red, traditionally focused on the PC market, has already acknowledged that it should have paid more attention to making it play better on those consoles. That was me looking like that. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. So I'm arachnophobic, and it would have been funny for you. Good thing I wasn't live streaming. I know you're wishing it was. And the itsy bitsy spider was like, I think it was a couple of days ago on my microphone, like on this side. And I caught it like on the other side here, but like the equivalent distance wise to about here. And it was kind of like, kung fu that shit, slapped my microphone. No, I'm just kidding. And I kind of panicked a bit. It was a super tiny house spider, but I'm arachnophobic. I have snakes. I've owned snakes. I've held, 20-foot snakes, anacondas. I'm not kidding. Sorry, it's the reflection on the chrome. It's all like freaking me out. But spiders is where I draw the line. Anyhow, enough rambling. I've already read this. And quite frankly, I don't need to talk about the confusion about the refund. However, they did tweet following a discussion with PlayStation, a decision was made to temporarily suspend digital distribution of Cyberpunk 2077. You could still buy physical copies of the game in brick and mortar stores and online, whatever that means. All purchased digital and physical copies of the game will continue to receive support and updates as we continue to improve your experience. According to our knowledge, starting today, everyone who is not willing to wait for an update wants a refund for their copy of the game can do so by submitting a request. Right? And we're working hard to bring the game back to the PlayStation Store as soon as possible. So that's pretty much it. I rambled on for nearly 9 minutes about just that, but I thought it was really interesting. And again, at the beginning of the video, the most important thing in this whole thing, in this whole 9 minutes, was the first 9 seconds, was letting you know that it's official from Xbox and PlayStation that you can get a refund. So again, if you've made it this far, you're crazy. And yeah. So if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll make sure when you submit a request, it actually processes another 15 copies of the game. And the money gets funneled into my account so that I can afford a new computer. I really hope nothing happens to your bank account because you're seriously going to think it was me. Obviously, I don't have the power to do that. It's a joke. But yeah. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, I mean, naturally, that would be fantastic. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and hopefully I'll see at least some of you in the next video. Bye now.